Hello YouTubers and welcome. Today we're going to go over a couple of divergences that I've seen in setting up on Friday, and this is a divergence list for 11/30/2015, the week of 11/30. So let's get into it here. So the first one we got is bid. Ticker symbol bid, Sotheby's. And we got a falling wedge pattern here. So this low is bottoming out here. You can see that it's this stochastic rotation is a little bit higher than this stochastic rotation. So price, or the stochastic, is going up in this direction, where the price is going down, and that's what sets up the divergence. You can see that this stochastic is rounding up. It hasn't quite made that full rotation as you see here, but once it passes that 20 line, that's when you know it's ready to pop. And this is really a good setup here. We're getting this really cheap and right up against this lower trend line, which is awesome. But this looks like a good setup. Next couple of days, it should be popping up. Let's go to the next one here. ZLTQ. All right. You see, once again, it's the same pattern, divergence pattern. The stochastics are making higher lows, and as you see here, I'll mark it off. It's a slight divergence here. The stochastic on this second rotation is making a higher low here than this low right here, and you can see the lower trend line prices towards this lower trend line, but it spiked down 2 days, and it would have been pretty hard to catch those two spikes right there. But you can see in this one, it should spike back up, and this was, this rotation is on its way back up. So it looks like a pretty good play. Let's go to the next one here. BMRN, BioMarin pharmaceutical play. And this is a descending triangle pattern here. And this is a better divergence. Here you can see it more clearly, although this stochastic rotation hasn't made its way back up yet. It's a good signal to get in once the stochastic passes the 20 line there in red. So it is making a lower low, and that's what creates the divergence play there. And this is a nice play as prices against that lower trend line. Looks like it might need like a day or two, but geez, you can't beat these prices up against that lower trend line. It's really nice. Let's go to the next one, PVA. This is a oil pipeline play. This sector has been in decline since late summer. This is a descending triangle play. And it's kind of it looks a little bit different than what we have been looking at here. Instead of the big rotations, these are just smaller rotations. And you could argue that it's a coil play as well, being that the stochastics are all coiled up. And just think of it as, physics or energy. When you coil anything up, that energy has to give and go somewhere. And as a result, we want it to give and go up. So this is basing out very well here. You can see the more hits that price makes up against that lower trend line, that's creating support, and the more hits that it has against that lower trend line, it's just giving it more strength. So it's bottoming out well here. This is a very nice setup. and I really like it because of this down here and what I spoke to earlier with the all the energy pent up down here. But this could take a couple days to move. Um, as you see in this area, it's just, you know, kind of bottoming out. So we might have to wait a little bit on this play. Let's see, where are we at here? PBA, ARCB is the next one. All right, and this is a nice divergence play here. As you can see on the stochastics here, it's a low. This one was a very low low, and this is a higher low. But then this is also a another coil play. It's one of the reasons why I'm bringing it to you all today. Nice and coiled up here, and creates the divergence as well because it's the stochastics are going at a higher low than this lower low back here, and you can see price is a little bit lower in this area than it is here, and that's what creates the divergence. And this is a good base here as well. Forgot to mark that off, but as you can see, it's, you know, it's basing out well there, and you know it ticked up on Friday. It was up 2.7% on Friday, so it looks like a pretty good play there as well. Let's get to the next one. Let's see, that was ARCB. Bob Evans next. So once again, this is a falling wedge pattern, and a clearer divergence here. This looks like a good play. It's kind of ran a little bit, but you could jump on a train and you know, take it for a little bit of a ride up into that higher trend line there. And that's a nice wedge pattern with multiple hits on the top as well. Let's get to the next one here. CYH. Alright, and then this is Community Health Services. This was created due to a gap down, and you often see that divergences are created with gap downs. And this gap down could have been, you know, I don't know why it was created, but it could have been earnings. It could have been a bad report that they came out with, but for whatever reason, it did gap down. And once again, it has a nice gap, and this is forming a descending triangle here. A nice base here. You know, you can see it going up, and then this is probably the best divergence that we have going. This is called a rolling divergence or running divergence, just because you know, it just keeps on running. You can see here that made a very low low on the stochastics back here in October, and then it just kept on rolling up, you know, a nice base. Looks like it's almost been a month in that base, and it's finally popping up here. Looks like a very nice play there. Alright, and then these other plays are good, but they're not as good as what we've seen already. The price is very, very low here up against this lower trend line, which is nice. It's a good good area to get this in. So this is a divergence coming from back here at this low. And you know, it's just a slight divergence. That's why I said before entering on this, you know, these are good trades, but not as good as divergences and technical setups as what we've seen before. We're going to get to the last one here, Deutsche Bank. And this was, I don't even know if we can trade options on this. I would have to check out the market on Monday. But it would be an interesting play. You can see that the overall price looks different than what we're used to in most US companies. It looks like it gaps down and up a lot with small movement during the day. That's what creates this small movement in the candles and so forth. Um, so anyways, this looks good. Let me zoom in here a little bit. So it's making that lower low on price, which we like to see, but a higher low on the stochastics. And you know, this is still setting up. I would like to see this stochastic turn around and then, like I said, cross that 20 line, and you know it's ready to fire at that point. But this is still setting up a little bit, but very good play. So these are basic technical pattern setups, price and stochastic, and with the two, they're diverging, making a divergence list for the week of 11/30/2015. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.